Hi, my name is Maria and I'd like to welcome you to Crochet from A to Z. And today's topic, and our first topic on YouTube, so welcome everyone to the opening of my YouTube channel. And the first topic is going to be crochet hooks and their styles and the comfort. And I believe the most important part is comfort, because many of us crochet for hours at a time. We watch TV and we crochet. We go out for a ride and we're in the car, and while someone's driving, we crochet. And we crochet at parks, we crochet at beaches, we crochet just about anywhere we can get a chance to. So it's not something that we take lightly. Once you get involved in crochet, it becomes a passion and something that you really love to do. And in order to do it, and to do it comfortably, honestly, without getting hurt. When I say hurt, you don't want to get carpal tunnel, pains in your fingers, pains in your wrists. So you want to make sure that you're actually buying the right tool. And you can go out and just buy different ones. And they don't have to be the same size. Just buy different ones in different sizes, because you're going to need the different sizes anyway, depending on the type of pattern that you're going to work on. So buy them in different sizes. Buy them in different types and see which one actually fits for you, because we have ergonomic and they're light and they're kind of light and airy and easy to work with. They have ergonomic heavier type with a type of plastic, but not really. It's actually, this one's rubber, and they are very comfortable. They have a spot for you to really hold because they are ergonomics. We have bamboo, and some of the bamboo actually have a comfort place where you can get comfortable with when you're crocheting. Bamboo, all types of wood types. It's up to you whether you want to work with bamboo. Here's a plastic one that I have. I've never actually worked with this one, and I've never worked with the bamboo because I've gotten used to certain styles and types, and those are the ones that that are my go-to tools. And then this brand new one that I just bought, quite frankly, believe it or not, I never knew that there was a 6G hook. Now, I've been crocheting for a long, long time with all different kinds of hooks. Never knew there was a crochet hook, a G6. 4.00 millimeter. Never knew. So, and then we have another crochet hook. It's actually, I have a few of them. My daughter-in-law got me these, and they're quite pretty and stylish. They do have a nice rubbery feel to it here, so it is comfort. And what they do is they light up, so which is kind of cool for when you're crocheting in the dark. And yes, when we get hooked on crochet, and we do crochet in the dark. So why not get yourself a couple of these? I would have never thought of buying them, and then when my daughter-in-law bought them for me, it was like, wow, these are really nice, Vanessa. I'm going to try it. And they do have a nice feel to them. I crochet fast because I've been crocheting for a while, so I don't get that pull that you would normally get in some of them. I like that. I don't like a draw or a pull on, and you'll know when you're crocheting what I'm talking about. You're going to get that almost like a feel of that. The crochet hook will just not go on the yarn. It won't produce the stitch that you want because it drags. And I don't like anything that drags. These don't drag. I like them. They're fun. They're great in the dark, when you're crocheting at night and you don't have light. These are wonderful. And this is my go-to Q hook. I use this for projects that I want to do in like a day or two. It's a fantastic one to have. I would consider always having a Q hook on hand, because they do come in handy and they're great for quick projects that require a thicker yarn. So it's something to have and add to your arsenal of crochet hooks. And then you're going to see that there's all types of crochet hook. They come in cases like this. My daughter-in-law got me this as well. So they come in different cases. This has just about every crochet hook you want. Something to think about, maybe not when you first get started, but when you've been crocheting for a while, it's a great thing to have because they're right there. These are metal. These are made of metal, but I will tell you that I like them. I crochet with them quite often. My favorite crochet hook is actually an I and a J crochet hook. I don't know why, but I just love that size. I love the way I can crochet with them. I just love them. Here's another case. Also was a gift that was given to me, and they are cute. They are a cute little pink case, and it's got everything I need in it, and then some, because it's got a little pocket here that I can do little things and just stash little stuff in it that I'm going to need. And this is a really nice little case as well, and it's got crochet hooks, all different sizes. As you go on, I'm going to tell you, don't think that you're only going to have a few hooks, because you're not. You're going to have all kinds of hooks, all styles from every company that there is, and you will, like yarn, collect them. Will you have ones that you're going to be your go-to hooks all the time? Absolutely. I do. I have go-to hooks. I love my hooks, and I like knowing that they're available for me anytime I need them, the different sizes. Sometimes I have actually had where I haven't had the size that I want, and it's like, how could I not have this size? But then I find out I have 3 of one size and none of the one that I actually need. And what I find that when I'm following a pattern, and you will find this too, if you're going to follow a pattern, follow the pattern. Go by the crochet hook size they give you. It's there for a reason, because it determines sizes, especially in garments. So you want to use a crochet hook that's recommended. You want to use the yarn that's recommended. And you want to use the weight size. And I'm going to cover this on another video as well. But you want to use the weight size that they recommend, because it's going to establish your pattern. And like I'm making a pair of mittens now, and the cuff is one crochet hook, but yet the body of the mitten is another. And they also give different sizes depending on the different size of the mitten. So what you got to do is, if you're going to make a small, you got to go with that small size that they tell you to use a crochet hook. And if you're I'm going to make the bigger pattern for the bigger mittens, then you're going to use the size crochet hook that they tell you. And you want to go with the yarn that they tell you. You don't have to necessarily go with the brand. You don't have to do that. But you should go with the brand that matches the brand that they're telling you. So what I'm saying, if you see another yarn and you like that yarn and it's cheaper, but the weight size is the same and everything is the same, except the yarn is cheaper, you like the color, you like the feel of the yarn, then buy it. You don't have to necessarily go by the pattern as far as the type of yarn, the name of the yarn. You could go by whatever one you want and enjoy that and do the pattern in the type of colors and the type of yarn that you like. Again, you always want to follow what they're telling you as far as crochet hook types of crochet hooks. You don't have to worry. They're never going to say to you, you have to use this type of crochet hook, but they're always going to tell you, you got to use this size crochet hook size. And the size often of the crochet hooks, it'll tell you right on there. Like this is a G 4.5 millimeter. This is an I 5.5 millimeter. So it's always going to tell you, this one is a G6. Like I said, the G6, I never knew there was a G6 hook. And I just learned that. And believe me, I've been crocheting for years. And sometimes they will give you the millimeter as well. And they'll give you, like this says 6 USG 6, and then it says 4.00 millimeters. I do have some crochet hooks that don't have the size, but they'll have the millimeter size. So I look it up and I'll go and say, well, what is that? And I'll do a search and say, well, let me see what size that is, because I have no idea what size that is. And that's how I do this. Like this one is an H, and it's a 5.0 millimeter. It's an H. So you've got to look for that. The other thing that I want to mention to you is that when you're looking at patterns, you also want to look at, sometimes the patterns are British style type patterns, and I'll get into that later on in another video, in which the British style, the British way of reading a pattern and the American way are two different ways, because a treble crochet is our double crochet. So you've got to, there's a difference in that, so you've got to always look and make sure. But I'll cover that in another video so that you know, you don't have to know how to read patterns, but I'm going to make it so that I've gotten better at it. So we're going to get better at it together. And I can show you different ways of reading a pattern and understanding a pattern so that you can do stuff. The other thing I'm going to also emphasize and I'm going to cover is making your own patterns. Yes, you can do it. If you find something that what I'm saying is, if you see a granny square and you want to make it, you can make the granny square and just make a layout of how you want to make it. You can make a pattern for different things. You can make your own patterns. I made a blanket for my grandson, and I actually started out reading the pattern, and I made a mistake. And my mistake ended up being really, really a good mistake, because I do like the pattern. I made a mistake, made my own pattern, and we went on. Choose something, when you do choose patterns, always choose something that's easy to start. We're going to do some patterns here, but I'm going to show you the version. We can start with small stuff and I'll work our way out. There are patterns that you can make yourself. You can still do a double crochet afghan, a lapcan, and make it just a double crochet. Very easy. You get used to using it. You get used to using the crochet hook. You get used to using the yarn, and you get used to the feel of the crochet hook, and then you make the pattern. You don't have to start big. You can start small and work your way. And I always hear people say, oh, it makes me so nervous. I can't get into crochet because it just makes me nervous. Well, crochet isn't supposed to make you nervous. Crochet is supposed to make you relaxed. Crochet is supposed to cut anxiety. Crochet, they say, is will cut anxiety, insomnia. Crochet is supposed to make you feel productive. It's supposed to make you take a string. You take a string and a crochet hook, and you can make a lot of things. But most of all, you make yourself feel good, because it reassures you, and it makes you feel good that you were able to make something for yourself or for somebody else. You can make a scarf. I started out making a scarf. And when I started out, I started making scarves. And I said, well, I'm going to learn to crochet. I'm going to make a scarf. I'm going to see how bad it is and how good it is. The mistakes were mine. It came out pretty good. Were there errors in it? Absolutely. Some people have, even now, you make a mistake, you can either rip it out or you can leave it. Sometimes the errors are so small that you can't even tell you made a mistake. The only one that's going to know your error is you. So what I'm saying to you is, don't let it intimidate you. Don't get uncomfortable with crochet. Get comfortable with it. Let yourself know that you can do it. Don't feel negative and say, oh, I can't do this. It just makes me stressed. when you have something like crochet, crochet shouldn't make you stressed. It should make you happy. It should make you feel like you can do this. You can, which, you know, I hear people all the time, oh, I could never do that. Yes, you can, because I didn't think I could do it. I started crocheting with, I think I was 10 years old, maybe 10 or 11. My aunt showed me. The first thing she showed me how to crochet was a granny square pattern, which I still make today. It's my favorite pattern. But that's how I learned to crochet, with a granny square. I started with one square and I made this large granny square blanket. It's a popular pattern. It keeps coming back. You'd think it's gone away, and then all of a sudden you hear, oh, they're making granny square patterns with they're making vests, and they're making skirts, and they're making scarves, and they're making afghans, and they're making pillows. So it's amazing what you can do with the pattern. Like, this is a waffle pattern. I never thought I'd ever make a waffle pattern, Afghan, let alone and that's when I started. When I started my waffle pattern, I said, okay, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how good I'm going to be with this. I only started making them about 1.5 years ago using the waffle pattern. And I said, well, let's see. I'll start with the scarf. Well, the scarf came good. I was like, okay, well, I can do this. I think I'll make an Afghan. Okay, I can do this. What else can I make? So what I'm trying to say to you is, get comfortable in your own skin. Don't double think about it. Don't get into your own head. Just take it one step at a time. You take your crochet hook, you take your yarn, you sit down, and you start a pattern that either you, like I said, you do all chain stitches, and from that you add double crochets or single crochets, and you make yourself a small lapcan. And then from there you just go into everything. And if you want, when you first start out, don't go out and buy expensive yarn. Buy cheap yarn. Buy yarn that's on sale, and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to get this yarn. It's really cheap. It's under $4. I'll get a skein of it. Let's see where I go with it. And what you do is you just, you do that, and you start with the scarf. So you make your scarf, and you say, you know, you're sitting there at night, you're doing it, you're watching TV, you lose track of what you're doing. Oh, you made a mistake. Guess what? You rip it out. You rip out your mistake. You start again, because that's the way you learn. Isn't it the way we learn everything? We make a mistake, we start over. It's not, you don't have to make yourself so stressed out that you don't enjoy it. You make yourself say, okay, I made a mistake. I'll do it again. I'll try it again, and I'll do it, and I'll just keep doing it. And then you go from scarves to hats. I went from scarves, I went to small Afghan. From an Afghan, I went to the next thing. Although I will say my first thing that I made was the granny square pattern, but one granny square after another. I did so many of them. I must have made 150 granny squares, and then I put them all together, and then it was like, oh no, now I got to learn how to put this together. And I asked my aunt, I said, okay, I got all my granny squares, I got a ton of them, what do I do next? And then it was the next step, putting them together. So it's not something you learn overnight. And you just have to give yourself a break, because you just say, well, I'm going to give myself a break. I'm not going to be perfect at this when I first start out, but I'm going to be comfortable at this when I first start out. And that's why I'm saying that it's important to pick the right tools. The right tools will get you where you need to go, because really, you have to have comfort. You have to figure out that this is going to be comfortable for me. I'm going to be maybe, crocheting for a few hours a night. And you want to make sure that everything is relative. And what is relative is that you pick the right style, the right recommendations. You check out the pros and cons of your tools, and you say, oh, you know, I crocheted with this and it's not comfortable. I tried this and it's not comfortable. So you go to what is comfortable. Oh, I like this because it's light and I can just go along. Okay, so that's fine. So what I'm saying is just don't be afraid to explore. Like everything that you do, you explore, you find out what's right for you. What's right for me as a crocheter may not be right for someone else because you're either uncomfortable or you don't like it, you don't like the feel of it. And the one thing that I will say is that you're going to look and you're going to know when I talk about drag. When you're crocheting and you find that you're getting drag from your crochet hook, and that's what you want to avoid, is the drag. You want to avoid the drag at the throat of your crochet hook because that's what you want to avoid. You don't want to have a crochet hook that drags at the throat because that's what it makes it harder. And you'll find out as you continue to crochet and you become faster at it, that's where the problems sometimes are. They're not only in the fact that you may not have the right feel of a hook, but you might not have the right drag of a hook. And when I say drag, again, I mean the way the hook captures the crochet, the yarn, and pulls it, you know, and that's what you're going to look for. So, is it easy to start? No. Do you get intimidated? Sure. Do you watch somebody else that, you know, crochets all the time and you say, oh my God, I can never do what she does? Yeah, you can. Honestly, you can. If I can do it, you can do it because you just have to not let it intimidate you. You can't let someone that's been crocheting for years and that's comfortable doing everything, as opposed to some people that just do certain things. Like there are some crocheters that will just do scarves and hats and mittens. There are some crocheters that will do your scarves, they'll do your hats, they'll do your afghans, and then they'll do your sweaters, etc., etc., etc. This year was the first time I tried to do a sweater. I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm not sure. I followed the pattern. I made my sweater. In fact, I've got to put it together. I made a beach cover up. Never did anything like that before. Never did clothes. Just was intimidated by it. Not anymore. I've started doing it and I've got comfortable doing it. And I said, you know what? I like it. Is it easy sometimes? No. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. I had one part of a sweater. I made a mistake. It was a 4-piece unit of a sweater. I made a mistake. I had to pull everything out and I started over. And I said, that's okay. I got the back end fine. The other end's fine. The other front end is fine. So now I messed up this end. I've got to fix it. And what did I do? I did it. I just ripped it out and said, that's okay. I'm just learning this. I've got to get comfortable with it. And I pulled it out and I restarted it. And I have my whole sweater actually put together. And now I have to do the finishing touches of the sleeves. I have to just add the sleeves to it. So what I'm trying to say is, don't let it intimidate you. Don't let it make you scared. Don't let it give you anxiety, because that's not what it's about. That's not what crochet is about. And again, I will say the tools of the trades are good. So I'm going to go over some other tools of the trades that you'll want and have on hand. So as you go forward and you explore this beautiful craft of crochet, because that's really what it is. You take you take yarn, you take a string, and you create with some beautiful pieces of yarn and some beautiful textures, and you get out there and you start creating and you say, oh, this is like fun. This is like, it makes you feel good. It's like then you want to say, well, I made a scarf. I'm going to make a scarf for somebody. And I think I'm going to try it. And then you start giving gifts. And people really do appreciate crocheted items. They do. It's like, because it's almost like, it's kind of an art. It is an art form. And we don't want to make it so that it stays an art form and that crochet continues, because we don't want it to become a lost art. We want it to become a continuous art that people will want to go home and say, oh, I think tonight I had such a tough day at work today, or I had such a tough day. I just want to go and sit in front of the TV and just crochet. So like a painter, what you do is you get your canvas. You go out and you buy yourself really good crochet hooks that make you feel good and comfortable and that are comfortable for you. You look at the different types that there are. You say, well, there's bamboo. There's a nice rubbery ones. Oh, there's these plastic ones that they light up. I could probably have fun with that. Maybe while I'm in bed and someone is sleeping, like my husband's sleeping, but I want to crochet, so I'll get one of these and I'll crochet in the dark. And then the ergonomic ones, they're wonderful. They're light. This is an ergonomic one as well. So there's a lot of ergonomic ones out there. And then you have your metal ones, which are quite nice as well. I like them. I've never had a problem with them. So what I'm saying to you is put together your palette. Put together your canvas. Go get yourself a couple of hooks. Go get yourself some yarn. If you're starting out as a newbie, get yourself some cheap yarn. But keep in mind that you're just starting out. This is fun. Do you make mistakes when you have fun? Absolutely. Do you ignore the mistakes? Yep, because you know what? You can fix them. You can rip them out. You can start again. So my thing is, the next conversation we're going to have is we're going to talk about yarn. And I'm going to talk about weight and different things to look at when you're purchasing your yarn, and to see what you like and don't like. And eventually what we're going to do is we're going to create. So what I want to do is tell you now is get comfortable. And if you have never crocheted before, or if you have crocheted and but you haven't done it in a long time, and if you're a crocheter like myself that crochets all the time, you're welcome here. Everybody's welcome here. But my thing is, if you're a newbie, or if you have someone, or if you're someone that hasn't crocheted in a long time, go out and look there's new stuff out there. There's new crochet hooks. There's new styles. So newbies and people that haven't crocheted in a long time, go out there, go to the store, have fun at the yarn store. That's one of my favorite places to go. Go look at the yarns. Go look at the crochet hooks. Go look at everything that you need for your palette, colors and textures of yarn. Go look for everything that you're going to need for your canvas. All of your yarns, all of your crochet hooks, everything that you're going to need for your new venture. And just think of it as a new venture and a fun venture, and something that you hope to do for a long, long time, and that you can create not only for yourself, but for others. You can put a smile on people's faces, make them something that they didn't expect, and then hand it to them and say, oh, I just learned to crochet and I want to give you this. or I just learned to crochet and I thought you'd like this, or give it to them for their birthday or Christmas or whenever you want, or just give it to them for no reason at all, which I've done many times. So from Maria from Crochet A to Z, welcome, and I hope you'll stay. Please join and like my channel, and have a good night.